Welcome back for part 2 of my 48-hour trip to Halifax. We start the morning off with a bit of a rain shower. And being from Toronto, we were kind of hopeful that it would pass over like it does here in downtown Toronto. But we got it all and the streets were flooded. It was quite magical, honestly. And it didn't stop us. We suited up and got out the door for some much needed breakfast. We both really needed it. And this one was special, the Hali Deli. It's a very popular delicatessen known for its delicious and authentic deli-style offerings. It's very cozy as well and felt very at home. And I didn't feel like breakfast, so I went with the Reuven's Reuben, a classic Reuben sandwich. And my goodness, was it a lot. But I highly recommend it as it was loaded with meat and a great helping of fries. My partner had the latkes lox and pea meal Benny. I had a little bit of it, and it was also fantastic. I will definitely come back to this place.
So it is pouring rain in downtown Halifax. Not the ideal way to see Halifax for your first time. Great thing is, it's on and off rain now, so out and about. My partner is back at the B&B, taking a nap after breakfast. And I'm gonna go to the Citadel, but first I'm gonna go check out this unbelievably crazy bridge. First suspension bridge I have ever been on.
The Angus L. MacDonald Bridge is a suspension bridge in Halifax, Canada, connecting Halifax Peninsula to Dartmouth across the Halifax Harbour. It was completed in 1955, and it's a prominent landmark and vital transportation link in the region. And here's a valuable lesson for me. Maybe for you too if you're making these videos. I decided to call my mom on the way to the Citadel, but I missed out on some really cool video of the buildings and the surrounding area. But call your mom, she deserves it.
So I made it off to the Citadel and about to go in. I just learned that there is a cannon that goes off at noon. There's also a guided tour at 12:05. But this is pretty exciting. I've never been here, so this is it.
So I decided to give you a little history lesson on the Citadel. The Halifax Citadel, located in Nova Scotia, Canada, has a rich history dating back to the mid-18th century. It was initially established by the British in 1749 to protect the growing settlement of Halifax and its valuable harbor from potential attacks. By the mid-19th century, tensions with the United States led to the construction of the current star-shaped citadel designed to withstand modern artillery. Instead, it served as a military base during both World Wars and played a vital role in guarding the harbor. As you may know, the German U-boats did patrol the East Coast. The Halifax Citadel became a National Historic Site in 1951 and underwent extensive restorations to showcase its military history. Today, visitors can explore the well-preserved ramparts, barracks, and exhibits depicting the lives of soldiers and civilians during its operational years. The Citadel offers insight into Canada's military past, making it a popular destination for tourists and history enthusiasts like myself. And just in time, it's noon and they fire off the cannon.
Fire!
Oh, Jesus.
It's fire, Sergeant! Fire! Fire!
I highly recommend getting to the Citadel early to see this. It got pretty packed on both sides of where I was standing, and I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen a cannon fired that closely. And besides the cannon, you have full access to the entire Citadel. But you might hear something in the distance. While I won't be giving you a full-blown tour of the Citadel, this is a depiction of what a barracks would have looked like back in the day. This is where they would have slept, eaten their meals, played games, and kept all of their belongings. It was very tight, and many men slept in this tiny little room. If I could go back, I would highly recommend doing a tour. They are all free and included with your admission.
So this is the public gardens. Unfortunately, I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough, but I'll show you real quick. Let's go.
The Halifax Public Gardens, established in 1867, is a historic and picturesque Victorian garden located in downtown Halifax. It was inspired by the public park movement of the 19th century and designed as an oasis in the heart of the city. And as you can see, it is really unbelievably gorgeous. It's too bad that I only ran through here real quick, but I was on my way to the waterfront as I was on a mission to get a lobster roll. But there's one more stop. While this was another quick visit, the downtown Halifax waterfront is a vibrant and bustling area along the shores of Halifax Harbour. Lined with historic buildings, shops, and restaurants, it offers a mix of cultural experiences and maritime charm. Visitors can stroll along the boardwalk, taking in stunning views of the harbour and enjoying activities such as boat tours, museums, and street performances. The waterfront is also home to attractions like the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic and the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21, making it a must-visit destination for locals and tourists alike. But we're going to go back a couple piers over and visit the HMS Sackville. A really good tip to know is that the admission is run by donations, and I believe it was a $20 suggested donation, which I think is a great value for being able to see the last surviving Flower-class corvette.
Ran into my friend Sarah. She's right there taking a picture of a cannon. Pretty cool.
Here's some brief history about the HMS Sackville. The HMS Sackville, a Flower-class corvette, has a storied history in Halifax. It was commissioned in 1941 during World War II, and it served primarily as an escort vessel for convoys crossing the treacherous Atlantic. It played a crucial role in the Battle of the Atlantic, the longest continuous military campaign of the war. The ship participated in convoy escorts and anti-submarine patrols and rescue missions, facing harsh weather conditions and the threat of enemy attacks. One of its most notable accomplishments was the capture of the German submarine U-501 in August 1942. This victory demonstrated the effectiveness of the Canadian naval forces in countering the U-boat threat. After the war, the HMS Sackville continued its service as a training vessel and participated in various naval exercises. In the late 1950s, it was decommissioned and eventually preserved as a historic ship. The ship was designated as Canada's Naval Memorial and placed at the Halifax waterfront in 1985. Today, just like I'm doing right now, you can embark on this storied vessel as it is the last surviving Flower-class corvette and stands as a living testament to Canada's naval heritage. Visitors can tour the ship to learn about its wartime experiences, the Battle of the Atlantic, and the sacrifices made by Canadian sailors during one of the most critical chapters in maritime history. Throughout this ship, organizers behind the preservation of this ship have set up scenes depicting what life was like on board. However, unlike these mannequins, it's time for us to go and see some more of Halifax.
Alternate fares now.
Thank you. So I'm heading to Dartmouth to go finally eat a real lobster roll. And I gotta do that via ferry.
Despite the gray and wet weather, the entire waterfront was bustling. The ferry wasn't too busy, but it was also early in the day, and things were just getting off as it was Saturday. And if you didn't hear it in the last video, it's about $2.75 for one adult fare, and it's good for an hour and a half. So you can make a quick trip and get back to Halifax. Unfortunately for me, at this time, coming to this clock, I realized something. The restaurant is closed until 5.
So the original place is closed until 5. They're closed between 2 and 5, whatever. Gotta back up. And it's in here.
Evans was my backup, and the reviews told me it was alright, so it's time to find out.
So the original place I wanted to go to, that was the canteen on Portland, was closed. It's only open between, I think it was 10 to 2 and then 5 p.m. and on. So I had a backup which is connected with the ferry terminal, and it is called Evans Seafood. And we're about to try it out. Got ourselves a nice DC. I'm not too much about the sugar. Sad that they have no branding on their bag, but that's okay. So what I got was one fish. I didn't want any fries. I already had fries with my giant breakfast that you saw earlier. Bon appetit. Oh God, that's good. And I'm pretty stoked on this. And it's a lobster roll. Now, this one is just lobster. It doesn't have the crab in it like I was going for, but that's all right. Just look at that. No, that's good. Well, it's too bad that it's such a small portion, but lobster's incredibly expensive.
And at this moment, I also realized this was going to be the last time I could fully absorb the harbor of Halifax. But this trip was more than just Halifax. This trip was about many firsts. This is my first vlog. I was also running out of an airport for a 3.5 layover. And while I was on my own for most of this, it was one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. Getting to see whatever I could in 48 hours.
Oh my foot!
But I didn't even scratch the surface, and I can't wait to come back for more. Thank you, Halifax, for being so kind to me.
Well, thank you for coming with me on this Halifax adventure. And it's now time for me to go to one of my best buds' wedding just behind me at the Bus Stop Theater. So, thank you. Until next time.
Okay, one more thing. This is who we came for, the wonderful Vince and Lou. Congrats, you two. We love you so much, and we can't wait to see you soon.
It's nice the way you say my name. Not very fast or slow, just soft and low, the same as when you tell me how you feel. I feel the same way too. I'm very much in love with you. I'm very much in love with you.